Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is TweaK, and lads, it's that time of year again. The wipe for Tarkov is just around the corner, or so it would seem. We're not entirely sure when it is, but we know that it's sometime soon. So I thought it was going to be at the end of August. It's probably not looking like it's going to be the end of August, so maybe sometime in September we'll see the patch. So in this video, I want to focus on how I play the start of every wipe. So there's a couple of things that I do that people question me on all the time, and they wonder like, oh, why the hell are you doing that? Or why are you doing this instead? Or why are you doing this in this order or whatever? So I'm hoping to just explain that to all of you guys, because I've been getting questions about it on stream recently. Like, when the wipe comes, what do I do? You know, everyone's kind of panicked about it. It's simple though. It's simple, and you can make life very easy for yourself and get ahead of the game very early on in the patch. If you kind of just follow what I do a little bit, not necessarily, follow it to a T, but some of the things might end up helping you guys out. So the first thing I will say, I made a tweet about this earlier. When point 12 comes out, please take the extra time. Okay, just please take the extra time that this takes. Uninstall your game completely and completely uninstall the launcher, okay? Once you've done that and you're sure that everything has been removed from your PC to do with Tarkov, do a full, fresh, clean install of the game. This used to help in older patches with like crashes. It used to help with like not being able to get into raids. It used to help with like performance. This is a massive patch. There is so much stuff coming with this patch. If it's the one time you've ever done this since you started playing the game, just make sure that you fully uninstall the game and the launcher, and then do a full, fresh, clean install. It will make sure that you don't have any issues, going into the first day of the wipe and all that other kind of stuff. Just do yourself a favor and do that. So, moving on from that, what is my plan? So, this is going to kind of cater more to the people who have like the Edge of Darkness edition, but it also applies to standard edition players as well. As you guys know, you start off with a bunch of crap in your stash. So I can only really speak for myself. I've never really played on a standard account other than the first like 3 weeks that I actually played Tarkov. But what I do, and I'm just going to tell you what I keep and what I sell. I keep the Tashankas, I keep the meds, I keep the Groks, I keep the morphines, I keep the fort and the trizips and the IFAKs. So for the Tashankas, you may want to sell them depending on whether or not the quest actually tells you to go out and physically find them in raid. I don't really remember. And it might change. Who knows? Like, quests always change when new wipes come out. So whether or not that's a requirement, keep the Tashankas or sell them if you have to actually go into raid and find them. As far as the meds go, keep the morphines, obviously, again, subject to whether or not the quest gets changed. You have to go find it in raid, or can you use the ones that are in your stash? We'll just have to wait and see. I keep the Groks because they have a higher ammo capacity than the PMs, and I just prefer the ammo. I don't like the other ammo. So yeah, and you want to keep the fort because you need it for a task later on down the line. I think there's actually 2 tasks you require fort for. So keep that fort. It'll end up saving you 300-400k come the time, unless you found some on other players. And the trizips, obviously, keep those. I'll speak more about those a little bit later. What to sell? So I sell the PM pistols, obviously, the mags, the ammo, all that stuff, gone. See it, don't need it, don't want it. PP19, that goes too. AKUs as well, they can go too. Nades, the Alpha Rig, the Kiver. You can keep the Grizzly if you want in your secure container. It's kind of up to you, but I just sell it just for the extra money at the start. Yeah, like the AK and the AKU, you can keep it or sell it. It's kind of up to you. I'd advise just selling the AKU and selling the AK. You don't really need them. Having the starting money is probably more important, because you never know how your first, day or two is going to go. I've had so many wipes where the first 2 days have just been terrible. I've been destroyed. Every single thing I try and go to do, I am just stuck. And I'm glad I sold all this stuff to have the extra money to kind of recover from that, so I didn't have to actually do any hatchet runs or anything like that. I did have to do some pistol runs to make some money back, but at the start of the wipe, that's fine, because everybody else is running around with pistols too and no armor and stuff. So don't worry about that too much. But yeah, I would say keep the Grizzly if you want, but everything else realistically can go. Now, on to the question I've been asked a lot recently: what weapon do you use when the wipe comes around? And I've been telling everybody this for probably the bones of a year now. I sell all the guns that come in my stash. I convert a bunch of my money to dollars. I just buy 10 MP5s. the MP5 is really like the only gun that you need early wipe. Like, there's a lot of people out there that like to run Mosins. I would rather just not play the game. I'd rather not play the game than run around with a Mosin for the first week of the wipe. I just don't want to do that. Use the MP5. It's way more fun. You'll have a lot more fun with it, that's for sure. And if you miss a shot, hey, well, guess what? You got 29 more rounds that you can full auto rattle off into somebody's face. The Mosin is a risky weapon. If you miss your first shot against a scav, or you shoot a scav in the head or the chest and he doesn't die and he turns around and kills you, well, then you just lost, 25k and, your handful of ammo, or if you had any armor or a bag or something like that. Every bag and every piece of armor that you have in the early stages of a wipe are so important. They're so important because they cost you so much money when you're buying them from traders. I almost never recommend people to buy bags early game because it's a little bit of like a noob trap kind of thing. Same with the helmets. Don't buy helmets early game, guys. Don't buy helmets early game. Like, they're generally not really worth the money you're spending on them, and they don't really equate to the amount of gear that you have on you early game. It doesn't make sense, really. Like, if you find a helmet, or hey, if you get an early labs key, you get some zishes with a few visors or something like that, or a ULAC or something, go for it, man. Run that shit. Run it. But don't waste your early money from crap helmets from level 1 and 2 traders. I would not recommend that. Later on, if you progress quickly enough, you get Peacekeeper up or whatever, and you want to start running like, I don't know, a fast MT with a visor or something like that, it'll be viable for a while at the start of the patch while everybody's using low caliber guns that don't all have shitloads of armor penned to them. But yeah, avoid buying helmets, and I would also avoid buying bags as well. You can generally just find bags on scavs and it won't really affect your economy that much. Like, just buying bags is very expensive. It can be very expensive if you're dying every raid. So you can just find an MBSS on a scav. Yeah, would it be nice to have a bigger bag? Of course it would be, but you're going to save a lot of money in the long run doing this. So yeah, MP5 is your friend. It's only $342 compared to the AKU, which is 29,000 rubles. There's not that much of a price difference. I feel like everybody looks at the AKU and go, oh, it's the perfect starting weapon. But like, as far as the MP5 goes, it's a laser beam. It point shoots like a laser beam. You ADS and shoot with it. It's like a laser beam. The AKU is all over the place, man. So yeah, I would recommend, if you've never tried it, give the MP5 a go this patch. I feel like you'll be pleasantly surprised. Now, a few other little things. Hoard armor over weapons where possible. Okay, armor is so important early game. You will feel it, man. Everybody's going to have forgotten what it's like to run around without armor at the start of this wipe. Same as every wipe. And like, it is so detrimental to surviving raids that you have chest armor. Chest armor is the most important thing early game. I don't care if it's a 3M. Even a 3M will help you. Like, I swear to God, I ran 3Ms as well, and they ended up saving my life a lot in the early game. Like, Untar armor is going to probably be the most common armor you're going to see around for quite a while. It's also very expensive to buy it every single raid from Peacekeeper. I think it works out around 45,000 rubles. So it is expensive to run every raid. So I would suggest that if you go into a raid with no armor and you find a piece of chest armor, you might want to go bank it depending on what you're doing. I would also, like, if you have like an AK-74M or something like that in your bag, you're like, oh, I'll take that back to my stash with me. It's like, if you find another piece of armor and you can fit that in your bag, I would prioritize the armor. It is so much more important than guns. Guns are so easy to obtain early game, and I'll get to that a little bit later. So yeah, my next piece here, prioritize full-sized rifle, guys. Full-sized rifles. I would ignore submachine guns. If you have room for them, you can take them to sell them, but I would prioritize things like AK-74Ms, 74Ns, and then for shotguns, MP-153s. Really, really good, solid guns. I know some people like Saigas too, so if you enjoy Saigas, go for Saigas if that's what you're into. I generally take the 153s because I don't really feel bad about ditching them. For some reason, I feel bad about ditching a Saiga, but what I'll do is I'll go to factory, I'll see if I can kill some PMCs that are going around factory with some gear with the 153s. I'll take their stuff and I'll generally drop the 153. I'll take their stuff, or I'll go farm a bunch of Vepers off a bunch of scabs. So I'll leave factory with like a scab BP, and I'll have maybe 2 Vepers in there, and another maybe another 2 Vepers in my primary weapon slots or whatever. But yeah. Try and just take full-size rifles. I would try to ignore taking things like AKMs. Don't bother. Don't bother early game. They're really inaccurate. especially when they're not modded at all. I just wouldn't bother. If you have to use them for a task, then of course, go for it by all means. But I wouldn't take AKMs. If you have plenty of guns in your stash, you want to take AKMs to sell them, go for it. Or AKMs and their variants, I should say. So all the 7.62 AK variants. And yeah, I said this already. Don't bother taking submachine guns from scavs, but if you have the room to take one, take it to sell it, I guess. And yeah, Vepers are great early game, even with PS rounds. You can stick a TT10K rail on it and put a PK06 on it or whatever, and then just go around just tappy with the PS rounds, because nobody's going to be running around with helmets and visors super early game. Now, Christmas gift. What did Santa bring us this year, boys? So Santa brought us 2 modded guns, or was it 1 modded gun? I know it was the big M1A SAS or whatever. Then the items case is the other big ticket item. You got like an ammo case and some like 50 rounders, and then the key bar. So controversially enough, people have freaked when they see me doing this at the start of a wipe, but I'll claim my Christmas gift. I'll keep the key bar and I will sell everything else. Yeah, I will sell everything else to therapist and to mechanic or whoever else, or I'll split the parts up and sell them to skier or whatever. Because like an items case early game to me, all that means is a little bit of extra organization. I generally keep all my quest items at the bottom of my stash anyway. So the items case to me, I don't care. I go through a lot of gear at the start of wipes. I try and be quick. I don't care if I die, I immediately re-gear and just grab whatever crap I have in my stash at hand and I just go again. I very much brute force my way through the start of wipes sometimes. So yeah, that's what I do. I sell everything. I keep the key bar. I keep the ammo case. I guess there's not really any point in selling it. If you need the extra money, you can just dump the ammo case. It's worth a few 100k or whatever to therapists, or like 130k or something. I don't know. But yeah, this is another example of like, you know, having ease of access to money at the start of the wipe, because money is a hard thing to make at the start of the wipe. Sometimes we don't have our keys anymore. You know, we don't have access to labs that early anymore. Yeah, that's just the way she goes. So wherever you can get some extra money early game, do your thing. If you feel comfortable selling that kind of stuff early game, do it. If you're confident you can earn it back later on. So now the quest order, ladies and gentlemen. So whenever I get Ragman unlocked, I like to do his tasks as much as I possibly can, because he gives you great rewards, and there's a lot of really good money to be made on Interchange. It also happens to be my favorite map, so maybe I'm a little bit biased in that regard, but I do really like Ragman's tasks. I think he gives you good rewards, and yeah, as I said earlier, there is a lot of money that you can make on Interchange, even without having to have any keys. Screw Kiba. Besides that shit room anyway, there's great money to be made in the rest of the map. You can do so much stuff on Interchange with regards to farming quest items. You can literally get, like, pretty much every single quest item in this game that you're required to pick up in raid can basically be found in Interchange. So spending as much time in Interchange as possible in the early game is great, because not a lot of people are going to be running Interchange early. Because most people are going to be doing like Propor's tasks and Skier's tasks, which all take place on customs. Of course, you're going to be doing those too until you unlock Ragman's tasks. I think is at like level 10 or something, isn't it? But yeah, I would say as soon as you get Ragman unlocked, go do his stuff, farm up all your quest items good and early on Interchange, and then crack on with the rest of your stuff. So what I usually do then is I will do Skier's tasks as much as possible to try and get Peacekeeper's quests unlocked as early as possible. You have to get a Friend from the West Part 2 finished to unlock Peacekeeper. So try and get those done as quick as you can. And then I will push through Peacekeeper's tasks as much as possible while trying to check off other tasks from like Therapist and Skier. A lot of these tasks do overlap and they take place on the same map. So oftentimes you can bang out 2 or 3 or 4 or even 5 quests sometimes in just one run. Depending on what your current item, or maybe 5 quests is too much, maybe like 3 or 4 quests. But yeah, try and coordinate your quests together as well. If you have multiple quests on one map, obviously like Mechanic has a lot of overlapping tasks on Shoreline and Customs and a couple of other maps as well. I would suggest trying to overlap your tasks and try and get them to line up so you're doing multiple tasks per one raid for efficiency's sake. That's the way to do it. And I generally leave like Propor's stuff until the end. I don't really care about what Propor sells. I don't care about leveling up early game. I don't really care about his quest rewards. We don't have to care about his quest rewards, really. If you're looking to get an Epsilon container, by all means, go and try and rush that as quick as possible, but you're going to get cock-blocked on some of the tasks because you need the later game progression in order to get some of that stuff. And then Therapist, just kind of do whatever with Therapist while you can. You just kind of see what she has, and then you do other quests on other maps, and then you try and get what you can done for her while you're moving on. So now we're going to move into a little bit of a gray area. This is the gray area of this patch for me. We don't know what the deal is with the new quests. There's probably going to be new quests. In fact, I can guarantee there's going to be new quests. There's a new trader. We don't know what he has. We don't know what he sells, really. I'm generally not really sure, or genuinely not really sure what he has. So what are his quests going to be like? Are his quests going to be worth rushing early game? None of us know yet, because we haven't seen any of the tasks yet, or what he even really sells. I'm pretty sure he was like the tech, no, he's that new tech trader, isn't he? He's supposed to be like, he has all this bunch of high tech crap or whatever. I don't remember what they said about him, but if you can do his tasks early game as well, maybe you unlock him later, maybe you unlock him early, maybe he has some early game tasks you can do as well. See what they're like. If the tasks aren't too much of a pain in the ass, go for it, get it done, get him leveled up and see what he has. Aside from that, hideout progression, who has any idea how that's going to work yet? Is it going to be worth rushing your hideout early, or like how's that even going to work in with the task system and all this other kind of stuff? So we're just going to have to wait and see. I would probably say that, you know, progressing your hideout as early and as quickly as possible is probably going to be a good thing, if not for like morbid curiosity. I'm sure there's some really good stuff we can do with it. Couple of other little things here that I just want to, I put them here at the end. Lab key cards. You get a lab key card, go immediately. Grab your best stuff, grab your best piece of armor, play it slowly, play it carefully, and profit. Try and get as many bags out as possible. Forget the Gen 4s. Don't worry about taking Gen 4s. Try and make as much money as possible. It's expensive, lads. It's very, very expensive, okay? The early game. Having lots of money early game is really, really nice. Now, if you feel like you're doing pretty well on money, if you got a labs key card, you can sell it if you want. I would rather not do that. I'd rather go in there and see if I can make the money myself, but there's a lot of money to be made. You can take out some guns with you. You could maybe go around looking for AK-60 rounders or something like that, because you need those for a task, of course, like we all know. Even if you go into labs early, I would recommend probably going around looking for vertexes, the RFDM transmitters, or whatever those things are called. There's a few other items as well that mechanic requires of you later game. So you can always try and farm those quest items early as well, because labs isn't going to be packed early game. I feel like a lot of people aren't going to go straight into labs as soon as they get a key card, but as soon as I get a key card, I'm going right in there and I'm going to try and make as much money as I can. Maybe even coming out with some guns. I don't know. We'll have to see what the situation's like. It changes. It's a very dynamic kind of process, you know, the first like 2 weeks of the wipe. And of course, lads, new map. So first thing you guys should do, obviously, go into an offline raid and go explore the new map. Go see what lies inside, and see what cool new things are in there, and have some fun with it first. You know, go in there offline and check it out, or even go into a regular raid. I guess it's going to be full of raiders and the new scab boss and some other stuff as well. So I mean, are you going to survive if you go in geared? Probably not. First time, no experience with the map. My plan is to go into it in an offline raid, explore it, you know, see what the new stuff is in there, you know, have a quick look at the layout of the map or whatever, and then I'm just going to forget about it and just get my character progression on the go, and just I'll go back there when I get more gear that I feel comfortable taking in there with me. Like, can you do the map with a pistol? I mean, you can do any map with a pistol, but is that going to be worth your time and worth the risk? You know, it's just like, you know, time is very important early wipe. Being quick and efficient is very important. So yeah, lads, that's about it. I just said I'd throw this video out there for the few people that were asking me, and hopefully it ends up helping some of you guys out as well. But yeah, that is my approach to the wipe. Be quick. MP5s are your friend. Do a lot of interchange. Get all your quest items. Try and overlap as many tasks as possible to be as efficient as possible. And yeah, hopefully you guys found some useful information in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, if I don't see some of you guys before the wipe, best of luck with it. Hope it goes well for you. Again, I'm hoping that it's going to be sometime very soon in our very near future, but we will have to wait and see, my friends. So lads, thank you all very much for watching. I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.